Backstage Knitting Podcast. Backstage Knitting Podcast. Backstage Knitting Podcast. Backstage Knitting Podcast. Grab your knitting and a cup of tea. Beth and Anna, what more could you need? It's the Backstage Knitting Podcast.
Hello, and welcome to the Backstage Knitting Podcast. I'm Bethany, and I am your host. This is episode 47 on Monday, October 8th, 2018. Let's see. If you are looking for the Backstage Knitting Podcast anywhere in the internet, in the social media world, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and Periscope as Backstage Knitting Podcast. Show notes can be located at backstageknitting.com. You can email me at backstageknitting@gmail.com. You can subscribe to the audio podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your audio podcasts. You can also subscribe to the video content on YouTube. So there you go. All the places you can find me. We have a fantastic Ravelry group. Just go to Backstage Knitting Podcast, search it in groups on Ravelry, and join. We have an introduction thread. Let us know who you are, where you're from, what you like to work on. Are you in theater? Do you like geeky things? What sort of stuff makes you happy, makes you tick? When you do that, I give you a little shout out on this show right at the beginning. So, join our group. Introduce yourself. I want to know who you are and what's happening. Okay, I think that is our usual opening business for the day. Let's jump right into On the Needles. What have I been working on? I have been working on Paris and Berlin by Hohi Locatelli, and that is a cowl that kind of comes down, has a triangle-y point, so it looks more like a shawl or a bandana that is textured and really pretty. I'm excited to finish that and get that worn. You do the triangle part first and you do that flat, and then you connect it and join it in the round and do a whole bunch of stuff in the round that way. So I'm still working on it on the flat triangle section. I'm doing that out of Bijou Base and Rants in the Gobi fingering, which is 65 silk and 35% baby camel. It's super soft. It's in the Valhalla colorway, which is a lot of like blues and greens and aquas, and it's really, really pretty with some like purple in there. And that was sent to me by Bijou Basin to review, and I will get that review out in a couple weeks. I want a little more time to work with it, maybe get the project done, see how it wears and tears. At the moment, I do really enjoy working on it. I think my struggle is that it's so much silk that it doesn't have necessarily the same give that a lot of the other yarn I work with does, that is like merino and things that have a little more give. So the silk just makes my hands hurt after a while, but that's okay. More time to spend on it, to use it. What else? I've been very busy. I feel like I have way more on the needles this week than I have previously. I have also been working on my Dotted Rays shawl by Stephen West, and that is one in the Marriage Equality Gradient. I'm just about done with the second green, so I'm going in order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. And I've done one set, red through purple, and then I'm working on the second set of red through purple, and I'm just about done with the green. I have a few more wrap and turns left, I think 2 maybe, and then I will do the color switch to blue. Yeah, so that's exciting. I'm looking forward to getting that done that is out of the Marriage Equality Gradient from Neighborhood Fiber Company, and it's on their rustic fingering base, I believe, and it's like my favorite thing to work with right now. It is so soft and light and airy. It is a delightful yarn, so I'm excited to get that done and to be able to wear it because it is getting cold. I don't like that part. I have also done about half a knitted knocker that I've done out of some cotton, and yeah, I'm on the decrease section. I start at the nipple and then work my way out and then work my way back in, and then I will stuff it, and that will be fantastic. After this last weekend and some of the choices our Senate made, I needed something that was productive but also very distinctly put its fingers on how I was feeling about the situation. So I pulled out my Resistance hat by Krista Nelson, and I'm doing that in red, white, and blue sock yarn. So all the letters, all the writing will be in white, and then I'll have alternating red and blue stripes. Yeah, I may switch up the crown decreases, but I am working on that. I'm doing the mature version, which has some obscenities in the inner brim, so it won't be out in public for the world to see necessarily, but it will make me feel better knowing that it is there. And then I have also been working on the Port Gamble socks that I started when I was at the Stitch and Pitch game this past July, not January. I don't go to baseball games in January. Most people don't. In the Oink pigment fiber thingy, in their Oink sock base in the colorway Listen Humans. So as you can see there, if you are watching me, but it is a bright neon-y lime green with some purple, some blackish dark gray, and some white. I'm calling them my Maleficent socks because I think they look like Maleficent, and I really enjoy Maleficent. So I've been working on my Maleficent socks. I am doing those with the Addy Flexi Tips, which previously I was a little hesitant about. As I've been working on them more today, I am working on my heel flap because they are a top-down garter stitch heel flap pattern. I am liking them more and more. I'm not sure, however, that I like them enough for their price point. And because they only come with 3 needles, I don't know how great they'll be for other things. So that's just something that I'm mulling over a bit. But yep, so Addy Flexi Tips on US size 2, the Port Gamble socks by Fairlight Fibers, and the Oink pigment yarn. I think they're going to be lovely, lovely Maleficent socks. That is all I have on the needles. Let's see, moving my show notes up. Off the needles, I finished a pair of socks. I finished the Port Gamble socks by Fairlight Fibers in the Mondim Color 201. That's the 100% non-superwash Portuguese wool, and that's in like reds and pinks and purples and some white that I've really been enjoying. I wore them today and they're so squishy inside my Birkenstocks. It is just bringing me great joy, and I really like the garter stitch heel flap. And as somebody who has never been a huge heel flap person, I think that's saying something. So that is what I managed to get finished this week. I don't have anything in timeout. which I think is pretty great. But while I had a lot of stuff on the needles, I don't feel like I worked on that much stuff, if that makes sense. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. Let's see, into spinning and weaving. So my sister Erin and we took a weaving class last week, and we have another class this week. It's a 2-week class, 2-hour chunks at the Nifty Knitter, which is a local yarn store in Issaquah, Washington. And they're fantastic. They're great. They're really close to one of the many places where I work. So they have defaulted and become one of my local yarn stores, even though they're not necessarily super local to me and where I live and do a lot of my other life, if that makes any sense. And yeah, it was a really nice class. I'm really glad that I've taken it, because when I got my loom like 2 years ago, I read the little instruction book that came with it, and figured out how to warp it and kind of go back and forth. But I needed somebody to be there to kind of give me the little tips and tricks and how to get a good even edge and what I was looking for and all of those helpful things. So I'm really glad that is something that I decided to do. I am almost done with the project I started for class. I have to have it done by Wednesday, so that will probably be my priority when I get home this afternoon. I'm doing it with Malabrigo. The warp is, I believe, Malabrigo Rios, the DK weight, in this really nice burgundy, maroony kind of color. And then I'm doing the weft in a sock weight, fingering weight yarn that's white and speckly. It has that same maroony color in it, but it also has some green and some blue and purple. It's really, really pretty. When it's on the loom all together in certain lights, it reminds me of the Rainbow Fish books with the metallic-y paper in it on the Rainbow Fish that I read growing up that I really, really liked. So I'm really excited to get that off the loom and to get something new on the loom, and I like that it's a whole other thing, and I feel better knowing that I've had some instruction, and yeah, I like to know that I'm on the right track with my crafts. There is no right or wrong, and we all kind of do things a little differently, but it's nice to have some ideas to what to look for in order to put together a really good finished project. So that has been really nice. Let's see. Itchy nose. Okay. Netflix and knit. I can't say that my watching habits have changed considerably over the week or anything, so I've definitely put in some time with Gilmore Girls and Parks and Rec. Not a lot, but it's kind of a nice palate cleanser at the end of the day or after I watch something intense. My brother just tried to walk in the room right now, and the look on his face when he realized that I was podcasting was pretty epic. Anyway, so I've been watching some Gilmore Girls and some Parks and Rec. Nick and I had been doing a Harry Potter marathon. So over the course of the week, we managed to finish Harry Potter 7.1 and 7.2. So we have completed that entire saga, which was enjoyable. Admittedly, some of the stuff about a fascist evil takeover isn't as enjoyable in our current political United States climate. But I do enjoy being able to watch like the Harry Potter characters grow up, and when you watch them that close together, you can really notice the change in how much they grew up from the first movie to the last movie, and that's always fun because you kind of feel, to some extent, depending on where you fall in the age spectrum, that you really grew up with them and they, you know, it's a thing that we all grew up together and all of that. So what else? I have also watched the 1970s Wonder Woman. We watched one episode. That was enjoyable. They're rather long episodes. They must not have had as many commercial breaks in the early 1970s as they do now, because I feel like those episodes go on for a really long time. But we're watching season 1, because that's what I have on DVD, and it was kind of just fun to have on. I think we had nachos while we watched it. What else? Oh, and I am caught up on the new season of Saturday Night Live. So there's been 2 episodes, one hosted by Adam Driver, who is Kylo Ren, and then the other one was hosted by the gal in Crazy Rich Asians, whose name I cannot remember right now. But both episodes were really delightful. Yes. Craftivism, yay! So I am having my next Craftivist afternoon, Sunday, November 4th from 2 to 4 p.m. in the Downtown Brew location where we did it this past week, 115 West Meeker in Puyallup. Bring a project that will create joy, warmth, and comfort for someone in need. So chemo caps, blanket squares, knitted knockers. Those are the only 3 I can think of, but if you want to make mittens or socks or scarves for your local homeless shelter or whatever, the possibilities are absolutely endless. Come on down, have a cup of coffee. Yesterday they had the Seahawks game on, and just let's hang out and do something nice. I am trying to make this a regular first Sunday of the month event. If you are in the Seattle-Tacoma area and have a suggestion for a coffee shop, I would really like it to be all ages, somewhere further up north or in a different location. Message me and we can possibly make that work for December, January. If you do not live here and want to put a gathering together in your own community, I'm going to start a Ravelry thread for that. So if you plan an event for the 3rd Sunday of the month or on a Friday or Saturday or whatever, you can put it in the group so hopefully other people can find that. I think that would be really, really great. I also want to remind everybody that the midterm elections are coming up really soon, and I know some states have just recently passed the end of their voter registration deadline, but a lot of others haven't. So I will post a link to where you can check that and to make sure that you are indeed registered to vote. It is so important. It's not the only thing you can do, but it is a big thing that makes a difference. And young people didn't turn out for the 2016 election the way they should have. And I'm strongly encouraging you to go out, make sure you're registered, vote, read your pamphlet, do your research, and also don't just think about think about your whole community as a whole. Yeah, because sometimes when we look at things, we think about us specifically and not necessarily about our greater community. And we need to find a balance because we want everybody to be able to live their very best life, and everybody should have equal rights and opportunities and be safe in their neighborhood and a lot of that stuff. So definitely vote. Be educated, vote. Yeah, it's a big deal in the world right now. So everything has a local, a national, and a global impact, and that can be a lot for us to carry, but by golly, we're knitters. We carry big bags anyways. We may as well carry a little more. So yeah, vote and let's knit nice things for people who need them. Book club. I have been listening to Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Basically every chance I get. I am on chapter 19, and it has been really fun to listen to, especially because I just watched the movie last week to get deeper into that stuff, that little things that I've seen in the movie a couple times that I was like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't think that much about whatever it was, and then to hear about it in the book, I'm like, oh, huh. That's what that is, or that makes so much more sense, or I wish they would have explained that a little more. And I'm not one who desperately needs my movies to absolutely identically match the book. I understand that when you take a book that's that thick, you're not gonna get it every little last detail and thought bubble into a 2.5-hour movie. It's just not gonna happen. That is the joy of having a difference between mediums. However, it is nice to be able to pick out those little details and to have that stuff sort of clarified. But as long as the heart of the story is mostly intact, I'm pretty chill about it. I don't, I just dropped a stitch, so that is unfortunate. But yes, I've been listening to that mostly on Audible, but I have also been trying to read that in book form as well. Picking up the stitch, making it work. Yes, there we go. Huzzah! Yeah. So that has been really great. I'm a big fan. Moving on, Yarny Adventures. So yesterday was our first Craftivist afternoon. It was small attendance, but that's okay. There was a chemo cap being made and some blanket squares got done. I finished half a knitted knocker, and it was really just a very chill afternoon. There was, coffee, I had a chai, and there was good food, and the football game was on, which isn't a huge deal if you don't like football, and is great if you do. So if that was what was keeping you at home yesterday, well, now you know it's an option, so you can come and knit with us and still have your football on. It's pretty great. So I'm excited to do more of those, and I hope that more of you will join us next month. And let's see, other upcoming events. So again, we have another Craftivist afternoon coming up Sunday, November 4th from 2 p.m. at Downtown Brew, which is located at 115 West Meeker. I will be at Madrona in Tacoma, Washington, which is February 14th through the 17th. My knitting group and we will be there on that Saturday. We get there really early and claim a table and take turns wandering the marketplace, and we get lunch, and it's really a rather chill time. So if you are there, please come say hi. I assume that at that point my hair will still be pink, so you will still be able to find me. And then that following weekend, February 21st through 24th, 2019, is Stitches West in Santa Clara, California. And Anna and I will both be there. We bought our tickets last week. We're really excited. We have confirmed that we're staying with friends, which we are also really excited about. And again, if you see either of us there, please come say hi. We'd love to talk to you. And yeah, I think those are the big events right now. There are a couple other ones in Seattle I'm hoping to be at, but I'm kind of playing that by ear. I'm hoping that I will be able to go to the Sunday of Geek Girl Con And then the Sunday after Thanksgiving is the Geek Craft Expo, which is also up in Seattle, that I am planning on attending. And yeah, I think that is everything I have going on at the moment as far as my events. Talked about everything I've worked on. Zip, 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 man. Okay, well, let's see. Once again, if you are looking for Backstage Knitting Podcast out and about in the universe, you can find me at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Periscope as Backstage Knitting Podcast. There will be the show notes up where you can find all the links to everything I have talked about today. Those can be found at backstageknitting.com. If you need to email me with questions, comments, concerns, etc., you can do that at backstageknitting@gmail.com. Excuse me. Come join our Ravelry group. I want more people. I want to talk to you all and make friends. I like friends. And yes, have all sorts of discussions about things at, Backstage Knitting Podcast on Ravelry, so join that. You can subscribe to the audio at Apple Podcasts, or you can subscribe to the video feed at YouTube, or you can do both and, play it by ear or eyes. Anyways. Yes, so I think that is everything I have to share with you today. Thank you so much. Have a great week. Stay warm, stay dry. Don't forget how to drive if it's raining. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.